What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel, and it is time for a game preview / game prediction here for the 2023 / 2024 college football season. And our game preview / game prediction will be the 2024 Cotton Bowl / New Year's Six Bowl game between the Missouri Tigers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. So this is our first New Year's Six Bowl game that we're going to be predicting here on this video today. We're going to be predicting all four of the New Year's Six Bowls coming up throughout this week. So stay tuned for all those other videos. So we're going to start here with a Goodyear Cotton Bowl matchup here between the number 9th ranked Missouri Tigers and the number 7th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. So we're going to give you game preview / game prediction on this game. We're going to go through the stat comparisons between these two teams. We're going to look at the game summary of what time this game will be, and then of course who the favorite going into this game is, and then also look at their previous game results from the regular season matchups, and then we'll give you the prediction at the end of this video and see how the game's going to go down. So let's get right into my official game preview / game prediction here for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic game between the number 9th ranked Missouri Tigers and the number 7th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. So we'll start here with the stat comparisons between these two teams. We'll start with Missouri. They're coming into this bowl game with a record of 10-2, so just 2 losses on the year for this Missouri Tigers football team. You look at the points per game for Missouri, they're averaging about 34.1 points per game on the year. So this is a pretty good number here that Missouri is averaging. This offense is a lot better than it was last year. You look at the total yards per game for the Tigers, about 442.1 yards per total yards this year. So yeah, this offense is not very explosive, but it's a really good enough offense here where Missouri can score a lot of points. Passing yards per game, 272.9 yards per passing for this Missouri team. Brady Cook has been having a really good season for this Missouri team. Not one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC, but you look at his numbers on the year, about 3,189 yards of passing on the season and about 20 touchdown passes and then about 6 interceptions. So he's been taking care of the football pretty well. You look at the rushing yards for Missouri, about 169.2 yards per rushing this year. And they're pretty decent at running the football, so this is a pretty decent running team that Missouri has. You look at Cody Schrader on the season, the leading rusher for Missouri, about 1,489 yards on the ground this year and about 13 rushing touchdowns. So he's a really good running back for this Missouri team. And then offensively and defensively in the rankings for Missouri, they're 25th on offense and then 39th on defense. Those numbers are definitely really improved from last year. Offensively in the rankings, at least a top 25 offense, and then defensively, they're like a top 40 defense. But again, that defense wasn't really good last year for Missouri. This year, they're a lot better. So Missouri, these are the stats here for them in 2023. Looking at the Ohio State Buckeyes' stats, they're coming into this bowl game with a record of 11-1. You look at them, they're averaging about 32.8 points per game. You look at the total yards per game for Ohio State, about 425 yards of total yards of offense this year. This offense is not very explosive like compared to the C.J. Stroud, those 2 years. This has been an up and down offense this year that Ohio State has, but this is still a good offense either way. Passing yards per game, 282.7 yards per passing for this Ohio State team. Kyle McCord just transferred, so we can't really talk about his numbers because he's not going to be playing in this game, but he did lead, Ohio State in passing yards on the year. So we're going to see what the future looks like at quarterback for this Ohio State team going into this bowl game. And then you look at the rushing yards. This is a team that's pretty average at running the football, about 142.3 yards per rushing this year. Travion Henderson is one of their top running backs in the backfield, about 854 yards on the ground this year and about 11 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, Ohio State, a pretty average running team, and then offensively and defensively in the rankings. Like I said, the offense is not the same as it was in the past 2 years. They're 37th on offense. They were ranked at least in the top 5 or top 10, in those couple years when C.J. Stroud was a quarterback. It's just not been a really good year on the offensive side of the football for this Ohio State team. And then you look at the defensive ranking here for the Buckeyes. That's where they've been the most dominant this year. I mean, obviously, 3rd in the country. That's a really high number for this Ohio State defense. And this has probably been the best Ohio State defense that, Ryan Day has had under the Ryan Day era. So these are the 2023 stat comparisons here between these two teams going into this bowl game. Missouri, stat comparison-wise, they do have the advantage in the total yards per game. They also have the advantage in the rushing game, and they are the better offense going into this game. But defensively, Ohio State has the advantage there, and they also have the advantage in passing yards. So these are the stat comparisons here between these two teams. Let's now get to the game summary of what time this game is this upcoming December for bowl season. So again, it's Missouri versus Ohio State here, a top 10 bowl game showdown here. And again, this is a New Year's Six bowl. This game is going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern time on December the 29th. It is on ESPN. The game will be at Arlington, Texas. You look at the spread's going to the Missouri Tigers by 2.5 points, and the over and under is at 48.5. So they're kind of predicting this New Year's Six bowl game to be a low-scoring type game. I think, honestly, both defenses are pretty even going into this game, but Ohio State definitely has the better defense. Missouri has the better offense going into this game, but this is a top 10 showdown. Missouri has been one of the most surprised teams, basically in the 2023 season. They have been a very competitive team. They've also been very competitive in almost all their games. Their two losses come to really, some good teams in the SEC. Like, for example, LSU, they probably could have won that game and probably would have been at 11-1. But, they were very competitive against, like, a really good Georgia team. That was their other loss there on the schedule. But Missouri overall has been one of the most surprised teams, in my opinion, all season long. And then you look at Ohio State, it's been a very up and down season for them, especially on the offensive side of the football. And then defensively, they've been dominant. They've had a really tough schedule this year as well, but their one loss obviously coming to their rival Michigan at the end of that game in November. And that's the third consecutive year that Ohio State's, been out of the Big Ten championship. And they also missed out on the college football playoff this year after, going to it last year. So the storylines going into this game, obviously, Missouri is absolutely loaded on the offensive side of the football. You got Brady Cook has been a really good quarterback this year. They're absolutely loaded at wide receiver as well. This is a really good Missouri offense, but Ohio State, they have a really good defense going into this game as well. So I do kind of expect a low-scoring type game in this one. But again, Missouri is a team that has just been overall a very big surprise team. And I think a lot of people are not expecting Missouri to compete in this game, but I think they will. And then obviously Ohio State, the big story for them going into this game is that Kyle McCord is not playing in this game. Of course, he entered the transfer portal, and the transfer portal has been really crazy so far here in this 2023, or I should say the 2024, offseason. So Ohio State going to be without him at quarterback, so we're going to see what the future looks like at quarterback. And also their top wide receiver, Marvin Harrison, who is a Heisman candidate. I don't really know if he's going to be playing in this game or not. It looks like he's playing in it as of right now. So that's the good news there. If you're an Ohio State fan, you definitely need Marvin Harrison in this game. But again, Missouri favored by 2.5 in this one, and the over and under is at 48.5. And again, I'm not very surprised that Missouri is favored in this game. I think they definitely deserve to be favored, to be honest. But Ohio State obviously going to be without their starting quarterback. You look at the FBI. The FBI, even though Missouri is favored in this game, they're only giving Missouri about a 24.5% chance to beat Ohio State in this game. And then for Ohio State, it's about 75.5% chance. So, yeah, the FBI does really surprise me there. They're getting, Ohio State plenty of the advantage in this one. But again, this game is at 8 o'clock Eastern time on December the 29th. And this is the game summary here for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl matchup between Missouri and Ohio State. Moving on to the previous game results here, we'll start with the Missouri Tigers. Again, they come in with a record of 10-2. You look at the previous 5 game results here for the Tigers. They're coming in, like I said, 10-2. They defeated South Carolina pretty easily on October 21st, 34-12 at home. In the month of November, they lost on the road at Georgia, but they were very competitive in that game. That was the one game that I just mentioned a while ago that they were very competitive in. They lost 30-21 in that game on November the 4th. They blew out Tennessee, though, November the 11th with a bounce-back win after losing to Georgia 36-7. They had that close win, though, against Florida at home on November 18th. That was a really big shootout there between those two teams, 33-31. And then back on November 25th, they defeated Arkansas on the road 48-14. So Missouri going into this bowl game here against Ohio State on a 3-game winning streak. And again, this is a Missouri team that's been overall just very competitive with a tough schedule this year. And obviously just a very surprise team as well. You look at Ohio State, they're coming in with a record once again at 11-1. They defeated Wisconsin on October 28, 24-10 on the road. They defeated Rutgers on the road on November 4th, 35-16. They ended up pulling away in the second half of that game. They were down like 2 at the half, but they ended up pulling away on offense in that game. They defeated Michigan State at home 38-3 on November 11th, and then Minnesota here at home on November 18th, 37-3. And then they lost that game on the road at Michigan on November 25th, 30-24. So that was a heartbreaking loss there for the Buckeyes. But these are the previous game results here. Looking at the previous game result kind of comparisons here, you look at Missouri obviously coming in with a 3-game winning streak, and then you look at Ohio State. Their offense just hasn't been overall that good, but the defense, you look at the scoreboards here, obviously their defense has been holding teams to fewer points on the season, but they gave up one of their biggest points of the season to Michigan. So these are the previous game results here, previous 5 game results here from the regular season of the 2023/2024 college football season. Let's now get into the prediction here for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic here between the Missouri Tigers and the Ohio State Buckeyes. So again, this game is going to be on December the 29th. I don't know if it's one of the first official New Year's Six Bowls. I have to look at the schedule and everything, but I think it's really close to that. But again, this game's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, so it's a late night kickoff here in this New Year's Six Bowl. How I think the game's going to go down, I really don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring type game. Like I said, the storylines going into this game, Kyle McCord is not going to be playing in this one. Missouri, they have a really good offense going into this game. The defense should be improved as well. Ohio State's been struggling on offense all year long. This is not the same offense as it was like a couple years ago, and also from last year as well. So we're going to see what the future looks like at quarterback for Ohio State as well. So I think this is a low-scoring type game. I think it's a really tight battle in the first half, but I think second half it's all going to be about the offenses. But I tell you what, the way that, Ohio State lost Kyle McCord just now in the transfer portal, I think that's going to be a big struggle here for the quarterback position for the Buckeyes. And I think the defense of Missouri is going to be able to put pressure on Ohio State's new quarterback as well. So with that being said, I like the future of what Missouri is holding here. And again, when it comes to these bowl games, it's usually about the future and everything. But with that being said, I think this Missouri team, I like how they've been playing all year long and how competitive they've been all year long as well. So with that being said, I'm going with the upset here. I'm going with the Missouri Tigers here to knock off Ohio State here in the Cotton Bowl Classic here against the Buckeyes. And my final score prediction is going to be 24-21. So again, a very close game. It's a very tough game to call, but again, I like the way that Missouri has been very competitive this year. Obviously, when I look back at that Georgia game, they were very competitive against a really good Georgia defense, and that just tells me going up against like the third best defense here in the country, I think Missouri is definitely going to be motivated going into this game. So I got Missouri here beating Ohio State, and obviously Ohio State's going to lose Kyle McCord here. That's the reason why, and I think I favor Missouri just a little bit in this game as well. And I think that's why the spread was favored for Missouri as well going into this game, just because Kyle McCord was not playing and obviously entering the transfer portal. So this is my official prediction here for the College Football Cotton Bowl Classic between Missouri and Ohio State. Again, my prediction is Missouri beating Ohio State here by 3. And again, my final score prediction is 24-21. So let me guys know what you think about this game preview / game prediction here between the Missouri Tigers and the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. And also give me your prediction on this game down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this game preview / game prediction. And also thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned here for more sports content videos on my Lucas Ross Sports channel.